House Speaker Nancy Pelosi went on with James Corden, and he asked her a little bit how she's living quarantine life, and she updated us on what it's like to be a multimillionaire in quarantine. And one of the most out-of-touch limousine liberal moves I have yet seen in public life. Let's take a look.
Welcome back. We're here with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and we've asked her to share something from her home for a little late show and tell. Speaker Pelosi, what have you found? What are you going to share with us from your home?
Chocolate.
Really?
Chocolate candy.
Oh, wow.
And this is something you can get through the mail.
Okay.
You never run out. Can I show you?
Me. Yeah, absolutely. This is the episode of Cribs I never knew I needed. Oh, my. Wow.
Other people in our family go for some other flavors, but chocolate, and then we have some other chocolate here.
See, I've always felt a connection with you, and now I understand why.
Mm-hmm.
Since you've been isolating in your house, how much of your regular diet do you think is ice cream and candy?
Well, as much as possible. It is. I enjoy it. I like it better than anything else. And I don't know why, but it seems to agree with me. I have a lot of energy. And we just got it restocked with the ice cream right for Easter Sunday because we were, shall we say, enjoying. I don't know what I would have done if ice cream were not invented. I just wonder.
I agree. I don't know who I am without it.
So there you go. I love your face from this one. I love what she was like. Yeah, he's like, I've never felt a connection. It's like, yeah, out of touch millionaires talking on television, bonding about their expensive, fancy ice cream with their little ice cream freezer, two big, big fridges behind her, just spotlighting the fact that she is in fact worth millions of dollars, her and her family. While,
it explains a lot. Honestly, in a way, it explains a lot.
As you and I are taping this segment, there are 22 million people out of work. And that is like what they choose to go out. By the way, the Congress is gone until May 4th. Steny Hoyer, the House leader, said absent an emergency that they won't be coming back. 22 million emergencies, and people are hanging out with fancy ice cream in their multi-million-dollar kitchens.
Fancy ice cream.
You need to know.
The control room wants me to know costs $12 for a half pint. Real woman of the people there.
Yeah.
She's not in D.C. She's at home with her abundance before her to display to the nation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just outrageous. But you remember comments like, I was just thinking back when she was in the business of trashing AOC and like trying to quash, whatever star power and influence that AOC really genuinely does have. And she said, things like the wealth tax, that may play well here in Silicon Valley and San Francisco, but that's not going to play well in the Rust Belt. It's like,
it's literally the opposite.
Actually, it's exact opposite. Yeah. I'm sure your donors and your social circles there aren't too big on the wealth tax. Meanwhile, rest of the country, where real world people are trying to make it day to day live, they might be much more on board with it. But yeah, it's just a little indication of what their lives are like, what they're thinking about, and why they're letting you hang out to dry right now.
Right. No, I mean, that again, it just comes back to stakes, which is that politicians respond to stakes that are actually within their lives. So right now, like you said, with the wealth tax, she's like, well, that might be popular here. It's like, what are you talking about?
Right.
It's like, it's literally the opposite of where the rest of the country totally supports things like wealth taxes, while it's San Francisco that would suffer. And there's a reason that whenever, what did she say the moment after phase 3 to that New York Times reporter who said, what's next on the stimulus? She's talked about a SALT cap deduction because that's something that they care a lot about in San Francisco and in New York City.
Yeah.
I just thought, I saw that segment and I was just, and look, people are allowed to be rich and people are allowed to have ice cream or whatever. But those people probably shouldn't be broadcasting it when they're in charge of relief for hundreds of millions of people at the same time that they're not providing it and looking at their $12 pints of ice cream.
It's like a let them eat ice cream moment.
It literally is.
Well, something we've covered a lot on this show too is, for some people, look, this affects everyone, and people, no matter what class and income level you're at, you're allowed to feel whatever you're feeling right now, and everybody is dealing with stress and hardship. Like, let's just put that out there. However, this is obviously hitting lower income and working class people much, much harder. You covered the Pod Save folks talking about how they were drinking wine in the shower, right? Meanwhile, you look at just the statistics, just the house statistics. This is hitting working class communities, lower income communities, which are disproportionately communities of color, much harder. Why? Because they're unable to have the luxury of social distancing at home with their ice cream and their red wine and their work on their laptops. They're either laid off entirely or they're forced onto the front lines of this crisis, either in the healthcare system directly, public transportation. We talked to transportation workers, the unique challenges. I mean, so many of them have gotten sick and died. It's unbelievable. Grocery clerks who are there, the number of people that they're coming in contact with, the Whole Foods in D.C., how many? 12 workers or so.
And covered up by Amazon.
Tested positive and covered up by Amazon. I mean, that's a reality for working class people. And to have a leader of Congress, one of the most powerful people in the country.
The most powerful woman in the country.
Yeah.
Probably in the world.
One of the most powerful people in the world. To be that sort of clueless to that reality and insensitive to it, I don't know.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Doesn't sit well.
You were just telling me, I mean, these are the people we should care about. You were just telling me about this worker who died in a pork processing plant.
Yeah.
We talked about on the show that one woman who works at a chicken processing plant was like, I don't want to die for chicken.
Like, we're out here risking our lives for chicken.
Yeah, and people did die in poultry processing plants, enough to the point where now there might be a meat shortage. These are the people that we need to care about. And not even just care, we need to do something for them. I mean, care and lip service is fine, but like, these people need support at a time when they're most vulnerable, not, seeing their national leaders out there showing off their fancy ice cream freezer.
I wonder if that ice cream is really worth $12.
It's not.
All right, we're going to have more Rising for you after this.